Oh, I'm knocked out by that. Dame Kiri, knockout drops, I call it. Is that one of your favourite operas?
Yeah, it really is, yeah.
I've not heard you do a lot of Tosca.
Well, I've only done it once.
Shall I? Only once?
Yeah, well, I recorded it and I did it. I've done it, and so that's about it. And I think the recording's coming out fairly soon.
Ah, shall I tell the great British public the story of that?
Your version?
In Cockney?
Yes, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Bring opera to the masses, that's my
Exactly,
plot.
yes.
Well, there's this villain, you see, tell me if I get it wrong.
You've got a fly on your
There's
nose.
this villain, Baron Scarpia. He's the head of the secret...
Yeah.
My cup runneth over. A real dame has brushed a fly off me nose.
Baron Scarpia.
Yeah, Baron Scarpia,
Scarpia.
head of the secret police, a right villain, isn't he? It's 1800. Tosca is a diva like you, a great singer, and her boyfriend's a painter, but he's a bit of a rebel. He's a sort of 1800 member of militant, you know what I mean? Doesn't believe in anything. And the evil Baron Scarpia has got him under arrest, sticking things in him, torturing him, and he's going to execute him, right?
Right.
So Tosca pleads for his life, and she says to him, "What's your price? Let him go. What's your price?" And Scarpia says, "I don't want money, I want you." And she says, "No, no." And she sings a song saying, "I've always been a good girl, I say my prayers, I love God," and that's what you sang, wasn't it?
That was actually, that's very lovely. I thought you were going to sort of, you know, sort of make slightly different, but that's really great. Thank you.
That's the story, yes.
Yeah.
And what can we do, Kiri, to bring opera to millions of people? Why is it so snobby and toffee-nosed?
I don't really think it is snobby and toffee-nosed. I think it's, people, because they keep on saying it's the prices. Well, the prices all over the world are expensive.
It's only £50 a seat, isn't
That's
it?
none.
Why is it so high?
The prices? Well, you ask the gods that. But I'm talking about being toffee-nosed and things. I don't really think it is. Listen, you say you come from the East End, and I come from little old New Zealand, who doesn't have any operatic sort of background or history, anything like that. It's I suppose common people like me, and hopefully not too common people like you, enjoy it. So why shouldn't we be allowed to enjoy this sort of music? But there's somehow, it puts this, everyone's got to get dressed up into all of this other stuff, and they put a sort of thing on, you know.
That's why I won't
hurts.
go.
Yeah, no, but it hurts me. You won't go.
No, I listen on tapes. I listen to you on tapes.
You listen, you'd love it if you came.
What about this idea of the subtitles over the arch? They're going to put up huge letters saying what the plot's all about.
Well, I think that's a good idea.
I
really do, because I think that also people who think that because they don't speak the language, then they're sort of illiterate, and they're not. You know, they feel like they sort of aren't educated, or something makes a barrier.
That's right.
And I think this breaks that barrier. I've looked at the subtitles, because sometimes if I'm watching an opera that I really love, I think, well, gosh, what have they said about it? And some things are really quite charming. But do you listen to the other music, though, too, Derek?
Oh, yes, I'm very universal in my taste, but opera is what I love most of all.
Really?
I've got this great theory. Tell me if I'm right. You see, opera singers are freaks. There's something wrong with the larynx. And God gave this gift, this freak, to the Italians. He said, right, the Italians will have all the popes, and they'll have all the opera singers. But he allowed a few opera singers to come from Russia and Eastern Europe. So they're Italian or Russian or Eastern. And then he, by some freak, the Antipodeans, Australia and New Zealand. Joan Sutherland, Dame Nellie Melba, and now Dame Kiri Te Kanawa.
Well, you see, they're building Amazons now out there. We're getting bigger and strong. We don't have to be quite so round and close to the ground. We can get bigger and much better. Don't you think?
Absolutely. And look how gorgeous you look with it. But how?
It takes a lot of time to get like this. I mean, you shouldn't think that.
You have to work hard.
I have to wash my hair and all that sort of thing. I was going to sing something light for you, though. You don't like that.
Well, yeah, you're doing very well at that. On my radio show, I'm playing Blue Skies every other day. Yes.
Well, we've got a new one. They're putting out a new single now.
Really?
I didn't know what time it was, and I shouldn't say that, should I?
What made you go in for the lighter music?
I don't know. Did you ever like Nelson Riddle?
Yeah.
Well, see, now, when I was very, very young, when I was just starting out in New Zealand, I used to listen to Frank Sinatra and Nelson Riddle all the time. And I thought, oh, this is wonderful, because it was wonderful, easy listening. And when I had the opportunity to work with someone, or work with Nelson Riddle, I took every chance, and I worked with them very closely on this particular recording, and it was one of the most wonderful experiences.
So your childhood was not Giacomo Puccini and all that lot?
I never heard of it. I never heard of anything like that.
Did you dream as a young child that you'd finish up as one of the great opera singers?
No, because that didn't come into my life. I imagined myself as being Maria in West Side Story, and you know, sort of Nellie Fordbush. Yes, and
I got you for Christmas.
Did you really?
Yes.
There's lots of other Christmas. Does my husband know about this?
No. West Side Story.
Yeah, and then of course now South Pacific. I did Nellie Fordbush.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, but I mean it's great fun because people in my sort of game, dare I say it, don't take chances. Yeah. And I really feel as though I've had 18 wonderful, wonderful years at opera, and I'm never going to ever desert it. I mean, that's my first love, and it's all a serious thing. But in order to get all these people, as you're doing, to bringing other people into our sort of world, you have to sing other songs that they might like as well, and then they'll come and see you do opera, which is what I want.
That's right. It broadens the whole thing and makes it more acceptable.
And you've got to go to them if they won't come to you.
Yeah,
and I think that always helps. And I've had some wonderful times. You know, singing the lights. I was on Boston Pops, and I did 2 songs from Blue Skies, and I did Somewhere, Summertime.
So you'll do both from now on.
Yes.
We'll have this all the time.
Yes. And Honey Bun,
Cole
which
Porter
I love.
and Mozart.
That's right. Actually, yes, I just did Gershwin as well. Original Gershwin.
What about the Royal Wedding? We remember you, of course, from
really?
Charles
you don't
and
remember
Diana. Charles and Diana. What about the next wedding? Andrew and Sarah. Will you go and give them a tune on the old Joanna there?
No,
you could do Knees Up Mother Brown. Knees Up Mother Brown.
Is that a British song?
It could be a Maori chant, actually.
Should have done something like that. No, I wasn't invited to do that one, but it will be so nice to see it.
What about films? You're so beautiful. You could be a film star.
Not beautiful enough. You've got to be awfully plastic.
Oh, Placido Domingo makes films. You're more beautiful than he is.
There's a slight subtlety there. He's a tenor, and that's a big difference.
Well, is it because sopranos are usually, how can I put it in a genteel kind of way?
Don't be gentle.
They're rather large, aren't they? But you aren't. Do these prima donnas ever give you a bad time, try to squash you?
But the big ones, no, well, they don't get it. You know, there's only one soprano in an opera, so it's fine. But I went for medical yesterday, and she said, yes, well, your weight, you know, it's a little bit heavy. And I said, what do you mean? I said, you ask a sumo wrestler to go down to his normal weight? Do you ask a singer to go down to a normal weight? They'd say 5'7.5", weighing 135 pounds or something like that. I mean, really.
My goodness. Dame Kiri Te Kanawa, you're something else. Ladies and gentlemen, isn't she marvellous? Thank you for being here. Well, there we are then. There we are.